Speaker, all protocol observed. Speaker, the question before Council today is not whether Ekurhuleni needs a budget. Every municipality requires a budget. Every council has a legal obligation to adopt one before the start of the financial year. But let us be equally clear, this is not about politics. The Freedom Fund Plus does not evaluate budgets based on political convenience. We evaluate budgets on whether they are legally compliant, financially credible, properly funded, and most importantly, whether they serve the best interest of the residents and enable sustainable service delivery. Our responsibility is not to protect the administration from scrutiny. Our responsibility is to protect the residents who pay rates and taxes, who fund this municipality, and who depend on it every day for electricity, water, roads, sanitation, and refuse removal. This is now effectively the 5th time that a version of this budget has come before Council. While some adjustments have been made, including the reduction of the proposed property rates increase from 2% to 1.5%, many of the concerns raised by the Council have only now started receiving attention. We appreciate the fact that the MNC engaged with the Freedom Fund Plus on our recommendations and rectifying what is needed in this budget. We welcome the commitment by the MNC that the issue of the waste charges on garages, storerooms and parking bays will be reviewed. We welcome the undertaking that recommendation 9.13 relating to the 500 million bridging finance facility will be amended to align with the city's policy framework and be ring-fenced for capital expenditure only. These are positive developments. However, commitments must now be translated into implementation, accountability and measurable outcomes. The administration has further indicated that stricter credit control measures will be implemented to support the targeted 90% collection rate. While revenue collection remains essential for financial sustainability, the reality is that a 90% collection assumption still carries risk. The city itself acknowledges affordability pressures, revenue leakages, weak liquidity, and collection challenges. The Freedom Fund Plus remains of the view that responsible budgeting requires realistic assumptions supported by practical evidence and achievable implementation plans. One of the most significant financial risks facing Ekurhuleni remains electricity losses. According to NASHA documentation, Ekurhuleni purchases approximately 9.98 billion kilowatt hours of electricity annually, but sells only approximately 8.43 billion kilowatt hours. That translates into losses of approximately 1.55 billion kilowatt hours, or in other words, 15.54%. This is not simply a technical problem. It is a revenue problem, it is a governance problem, and ultimately it becomes a service delivery problem. We acknowledge the MNC's commitment that a plan is being developed to reduce electricity losses. That commitment is welcomed, but residents need to see implementation. Residents need to see targets, and residents need to see timelines. Residents also need to see measurable reductions in losses. NASHA's own analysis indicates that reducing losses to 12% could generate approximately 942 million in additional revenue annually. Reducing losses to 6% could generate more than 2.5 billion. Those figures demonstrate why loss reduction must become one of the city's highest financial priorities. The concerns surrounding electricity tariffs had a further layer of risk. On the 14th of January 2026, the High Court set aside the previously approved NASHA electricity tariffs applicable to Ekurhuleni and directed NASHA to reconsider the matter before the 30th of June 2026. Electricity remains one of Ekurhuleni's large revenue streams. Responsible governance therefore requires Council to fully understand and monitor any potential financial risks arising from tariff determinations and decisions. Residents do not experience budgets through spreadsheets, presentations, or financial models. They experience budgets when traffic lights are working, when the lights stay on, when water leaks are repaired, when sewer spillages are cleared, when roads are maintained, and when municipal services improve. A budget becomes credible when residents can see results. The commitment made during the process are welcomed. The real test now will be implementation. The real test will be where the revenue leakages are reduced, where the financial controls improve, where the service delivery improves, and where the residents receive value for money they pay. That is not opposition politics. That is accountability, that is responsible oversight, and that is what the residents of Ekurhuleni deserve. Commitments are not yet outcomes. Thank you, Speaker.